Under the moonlit sky, a demon girl completed a magical contract with Yuta. A glowing mark appeared on her chest, proving the bond had been successfully formed. What began as her simple wish to experience an ordinary romance unexpectedly turned into reality. Earlier that day, Yuta walked through the school grounds while watching couples around him. Seeing such relationships only strengthened his desire to experience the same happiness for himself. Meanwhile, his friend listened to Yuta's familiar complaints about wanting a girlfriend. Having heard the same dream for years, he could only react with little surprise. Even so, Yuta remained determined and continued imagining the perfect relationship. As they moved through the hallway, Yuta openly admitted his wish once again. His friend immediately grabbed him and reacted in disbelief, unable to understand why he was so obsessed with finding a girlfriend. Without hesitation, Yuta described the kind of romance he longed for, imagining dates, hand-holding, and the excitement of being in love. His friend was shocked by the confession, while Yuta remained completely serious. While walking through the school hallway, Yuta continued talking about romance with his friend. According to him, people who were truly in love could never stop thinking about that special person. Unexpectedly, the image of a beautiful girl appeared in his mind, causing him to freeze in embarrassment. His reaction immediately revealed that there was someone he admired. The sudden change in his expression made his feelings impossible to hide. After learning about Yuta's crush, his friend pointed out how unrealistic the situation seemed. The girl was admired by many students and appeared far beyond the reach of an ordinary boy. Soon afterward, the school day came to an end. Remembering a request from his younger sister, Yuta hurried home to buy a special curry she liked. During their conversation, his friend also mentioned that Yuta's parents were still living abroad, leaving the siblings to manage on their own. As the evening approached, Yuta returned home carrying his shopping bags. Upon entering the yard, he discovered Yoru kneeling beside a large magic circle. Rather than feeling surprised, he seemed accustomed to the strange sight. Back in the house, Yoru confidently announced her latest plan to summon a demon from the depths of hell. Carrying the groceries he had just bought, Yuta paid little attention to her unusual hobby and simply reminded her not to forget dinner. While unpacking the shopping bags, Yuta drifted into thoughts about romance once again. Dreams of having a girlfriend, going on dates, and eventually getting married filled his mind. As he imagined what it would be like to spend time with her, a strange glow suddenly spread across the magic circle. Outside, Yoru quickly called for her brother's attention. At first, Yuta assumed it was another harmless prank, but the bright light continued growing stronger. Moments later, the circle radiated with energy unlike anything they had seen before. Excitement immediately overtook Yoru as she realized the ritual had succeeded. Concerned by the unexpected development, Yuta rushed toward her. Without warning, a figure emerged above the glowing circle. Petals drifted through the air as a beautiful girl appeared before the stunned siblings. Both of them stared in disbelief at the unexpected visitor. The mysterious girl descended from the sky directly above the glowing magic circle. Acting on instinct, Yuta rushed forward and caught her before she could hit the ground, as he held the unfamiliar girl in his arms. A moment later, the girl opened her eyes and found herself face to face with Yuta. Embarrassment immediately spread between them as they quickly pulled apart. Excitement suddenly filled her expression as she grabbed Yuta's face and examined him closely. Rather than being afraid, she seemed fascinated by his appearance. Her curiosity grew stronger after realizing that he was an actual human from the surface world. Meanwhile, Yuta could hardly think straight. The beautiful stranger stood so close to him that he became completely distracted. Looking her over, he noticed she lacked the wings and tail he expected a demon to have. Unable to contain her happiness, the girl wrapped herself around Yuta and celebrated her arrival in the human world. From nearby, Yoru nervously observed the scene and finally asked the question that had been on her mind. The mysterious girl finally introduced herself and confirmed what the siblings had suspected. She revealed that her name was Rasen, that she had come from another world. More importantly, she openly declared that she was a demon. Hearing the confirmation, Yoru became thrilled by the success of her ritual. The realization that she had actually summoned a real demon filled her with excitement. Meanwhile, Yuta remained cautious as he tried to process the unbelievable situation unfolding in front of him. Rather than sharing Yoru's enthusiasm, Yuta immediately became concerned. Stories about demons causing trouble quickly came to mind, making him wary of their unexpected guest. standing nearby. Yoru reminded him that not every demon was the same. Before the discussion could continue, Rasa suddenly turned her attention toward Yuta. Curious about the circumstances of her arrival, she asked whether he had been the one responsible for summoning her. Despite that possibility, Yuta refused to lower his guard. Moving protectively in front of Yoru, he made it clear that her safety came first. As the strange meeting continued, Ras calmly watched the siblings. Instead of acting threatening, Ras quickly cleared up Yuta's misunderstanding. She explained that demons like her had no interest in harming humans, and considered those old stories outdated. With genuine happiness on her face, Ras thanked Yoru for the successful summoning. Her gratitude appeared completely sincere, surprising both siblings. The reaction was far different from what Yuta had expected from a demon. After calming down, Ras began explaining the situation in more detail. Modern society in the demon world had changed greatly, and very few people still attempted to summon demons. Because of that, opportunities to visit the human world had become extremely rare. As she continued her story, Ras revealed that she had dreamed of reaching the human world since childhood. Stories told by her mother had filled her imagination with curiosity about the place. Unfortunately, demons could only travel there if someone performed a successful summoning ritual. For many years, Ras had longed to see the world she had heard so much about. Although communication between the two worlds was possible through advanced technology and the internet, she wanted to experience it firsthand. As the conversation continued, Ras eagerly shared her knowledge of human entertainment. Many of her favorite stories came from dramas she had discovered through connections between the two worlds. Excited by the topic, Ras began describing one romance drama in great detail. The story followed two strangers who agreed to pretend to be lovers for a year, before gradually developing real feelings for each other. Ras continued listing various romantic situations that fascinated her. Unrequited love, complicated relationships, and emotional confessions were all things she found beautiful. Those dramatic experiences seemed to hold a special appeal that did not exist in her own world. For a long time, she had dreamed of visiting the human world and experiencing those feelings herself. More than anything else, Ras wanted to fall in love and understand the emotions she had only seen through stories. The desire had stayed with her ever since she was young. After hearing her explanation, Yuta started viewing her differently. Although she had introduced herself as a demon, her hopes and interests felt surprisingly normal. While he remained cautious, his fear slowly began to fade. To his surprise, she asked him to form a love contract with her. In simple terms, she wanted him to become her boyfriend, leaving both Yuta and Yoru completely stunned by the unexpected proposal. Still struggling to understand the situation, Yuta questioned why she had chosen him. Ras calmly explained that demons needed special contracts to establish romantic partners. Since she wanted a boyfriend, all he had to do was sign the contract she had prepared. The proposal immediately created an awkward atmosphere. Yuta hesitated, feeling that the request had come far too suddenly. Standing behind him, Yoru pointed out that her brother had always wanted a girlfriend. Despite that argument, Yuta remained suspicious. Ras was still a demon he had only just met, and he could not ignore the possibility that she might be hiding something. Caution prevented him from accepting her request without asking more questions. Rather than becoming discouraged, Ras moved closer and tried to persuade him. The idea of starting a romance through a contract sounded exciting to her, and forming one would also allow her to stay in the human world. Seeing Yuta hesitate, Ras tried even harder to convince him. Her playful attitude and cheerful smile made it difficult for him to stay calm. Meanwhile, Yoru quickly warmed up to the idea, imagining how exciting life would be with a demon living alongside them. As the contract remained in front of him, Yuta carefully considered the offer. Signing it seemed like the easiest way to finally obtain the girlfriend he had always wanted. Holding the pen, he thought about something beyond simply having a romantic partner. A part of him wondered whether this unusual situation could help him understand what love truly meant. Eventually, Yuta placed his name on the contract and agreed to the proposal. Ras immediately noticed his sudden change of heart and questioned why he had accepted so quickly. He admitted that he still had concerns about trusting a demon completely. Despite signing the agreement, Yuta honestly revealed his worries about the possibility of demons harming humans. Instead of becoming upset, Ras focused on the signature written across the contract. Reading his name brought a gentle smile to her face. Just when Yuta thought the process was over, Rasa stopped him and revealed one final requirement. To complete the agreement, she asked for a kiss. The unexpected request immediately sent him into a panic, especially with Yoru standing only a short distance away. Rather than a kiss, Rapkas only needed a blood seal beside his signature. Although relieved, he could not shake the feeling that the contract resembled a dangerous deal more than an ordinary romance agreement. The signing process proved much longer than expected. Raz presented several pages that all required approval, leaving Yuta confused by the amount of paperwork involved. A sudden glow appeared across Raz's body as the contract took effect. Moments later, a strange symbol formed on her chest as proof of the bond she had created with Yuta. Excitement quickly spread across her face as she admired the mark, confirming their connection. Without hesitation, Raz moved close to her new partner and proudly declared that she would stay by his side from then on. The affectionate behavior immediately embarrassed Yuta, who had not yet adjusted to the situation. After the contract was completed, Yoru happily congratulated her older brother on getting a girlfriend. Meanwhile, Yuta finally began wondering what he had actually agreed to by signing the mysterious document. Before he could think any further, Ryas excitedly suggested going on a date. Eager to experience the human world as soon as possible, she insisted on leaving immediately. Although it was already nighttime, her enthusiasm left little room for objections. Not long afterward, Ryas pulled Yuta along as they headed into town together. While Yoru stayed behind to prepare dinner with the curry he had purchased earlier, she wished them a safe trip upon arriving at a shopping district. Raz became fascinated by everything around her. Bright store displays and fashionable clothing immediately captured her attention. Filled with excitement, she pointed at various outfits and eagerly asked Yuta to look at them with her. As they continued browsing, Raz found even more items that caught her interest. Some of the clothes turned out to be far more expensive than Yuta expected, making him hesitate. Nevertheless, she remained curious about every store they passed. While exploring the shopping center, Raz became fascinated by a section filled with colorful underwear. In her world, such items were far less varied, making the display seem extraordinary to her. Left alone outside the fitting area, Yuta could only wait in embarrassment. The unusual date had already pushed him through several awkward situations. Even so, he gradually realized that Raz behaved much more like an ordinary girl than the terrifying demon he had imagined. As he sat there gathering his thoughts, Yuta suddenly spotted Kanzaki nearby. The unexpected sight immediately caught his attention. Panic followed when he realized how strange the situation would appear if she saw him waiting outside a lingerie store with another girl. Determined to avoid being noticed, Yuta hurried toward the fitting room and urged Rakas to finish quickly. Before he could explain himself, she stepped out wearing the outfit she had chosen. Embarrassment instantly overwhelmed Yuta as he found himself looking directly at her. Realizing his reaction, Ras quickly apologized and explained that she only wanted his opinion on her new clothes. Inside the fitting room, Yuta attempted to avoid looking at Ras out of embarrassment. Unfortunately, she refused to let him ignore her and moved closer instead. Determined to receive his full attention, she insisted that he look directly at her, rather than turning away. The more Yuta tried to create distance, the more persistent Ras became. Her confidence left him with nowhere to escape, and he found himself overwhelmed by the situation. Eventually, Ras explained the meaning behind the crest that had appeared after the contract was completed. According to her, demons treated the mark as a symbol of affection. She further revealed that when the human who signed the contract kissed the crest, those words immediately shocked Yuta. The idea of a bond lasting until death felt far more serious than he had expected when signing the agreement. Even as he struggled to process the information, afterward, Yuta tried to make sense of everything he had learned. If the crest truly symbolized love, then Ras's feelings might already be genuine. That realization left him deeply confused. As they continued walking through the shopping center, Ras noticed Yuta's increasingly nervous behavior. His face had turned bright red, making it obvious that he was struggling to handle her constant affection. Before Yuta could recover, trouble suddenly appeared. Rakas accidentally bumped into a group of older boys, drawing their attention. Rather than letting the incident go, they began mocking the pair and directing their frustration toward Yuta. The confrontation escalated when one of the boys grabbed Yuta and accused him of showing off. Envious of seeing him accompanied by a beautiful girl, the troublemaker openly admitted his jealousy. The unexpected confession left Yuta completely confused. Without warning, the group turned aggressive and knocked Yuta to the ground. Seeing her boyfriend being treated roughly immediately changed Ratas's expression. The cheerful excitement she had shown throughout the date vanished as irritation replaced it. While the situation unfolded, Yuta found himself thinking about everything that had happened since meeting Ratas. Only a short time earlier, she had been a complete stranger. Now she was a girl who genuinely wanted to fall in love with him. Yuta found himself trapped in a situation he never imagined. All he had wanted was a normal romance and an ordinary girlfriend, yet several powerful demon girls now surrounded him. Standing at the center of their attention, he could only stare in confusion as his peaceful life drifted farther away. Instead of fading away, the strange reality became even more unbelievable. 7 demon girls gathered around him, each possessing tremendous power. Their presence alone was enough to threaten the balance of the world. Morning light entered his room, and Yuta suddenly woke up in bed. For a brief moment, he convinced himself that everything had been a ridiculous dream. While heading downstairs, he tried to laugh off the memory and accept that such events could only happen in manga stories. Reality quickly shattered that hope. Entering the kitchen, Yuta found the demon girls already there. As he prepared ingredients for breakfast, the exhausting truth became clear. Memories of cooking large meals for them returned. Before he could gather his thoughts, one cheerful demon girl greeted him warmly. Faced with her bright smile, Yuta finally accepted that his unusual life had truly begun. As Yuta entered the room, the sight before him erased any remaining doubt. The 7 demon girls were already gathered around the table, waiting as if this unusual arrangement were completely normal. His sister watched calmly while the girls focused their attention on him. One after another, several of the girls reacted to his arrival in their own way. A refined demon greeted the morning with composure, another struggled to stay awake, and a third observed him quietly. Elsewhere at the table, more introductions followed. One demon remained concerned about food, another cheerfully pointed out that everyone had already finished breakfast, while a third criticized Yuta's habit of waking up late. Memory of the previous day returned to Yuta's mind. Surrounded by the 7 girls, he had questioned their relationship to one another. Curious about their connection, he wondered whether they were truly sisters or simply companions brought together by circumstance. The answer revealed a unique bond. Although they had all been brought into existence by the same demon mother, they did not share blood ties. Even so, growing up together had created a relationship stronger than ordinary friendship. Levi stepped forward and explained the situation in the simplest way possible. Although the 7 demon girls were not connected by blood, they considered one another family. Even with that clarification, another problem immediately appeared. Faced with 7 unfamiliar names and very different personalities, Yuta struggled to keep track of everyone. The girls watched his reaction while Yoru casually suggested creating name tags to make things easier. Soon afterward, the discussion shifted toward a more practical topic. Gathered around the table, the group began talking about food and local restaurants. Interest quickly spread among the demons as they became curious about the human world and the meals available nearby. Our recommendation for a Japanese restaurant caught everyone's attention. While Yuta appreciated the breakfast in front of him, he reflected on how unusual his circumstances had become. As the meal continued, Yuta remained cautious. One of the demons moved closer and carefully observed his expression. Although the atmosphere appeared relaxed, he could not shake the feeling that there was still a hidden reason behind the demon's sudden interest in him. While Yuta tried to enjoy his meal, one of the demon girls suddenly moved closer and studied his reaction. Her teasing behavior immediately caught him off guard. Embarrassment showed on his face, and she quickly pointed it out. Rather than continuing to tease him, the demon reassured Yuta. She promised to help whenever problems appeared, and encouraged him to rely on her, if necessary. The conversation soon took an unexpected turn. After casually mentioning that she had spent all of her money, the demon directly asked Yuta for financial help. The request left him speechless, forcing him to realize that supporting 7 visitors from another world might become expensive. Before he could recover from that surprise, the others reached a decision. Excited by the idea of trying local food, the entire group prepared to visit the restaurant they had discussed earlier. Filled with enthusiasm, the demon girls quickly gathered together and rushed out of the house. Moments later, silence returned to the empty room. Yuta discovered that everyone had left without him. Watching from behind, he began questioning the true purpose of the love contracts. After being left behind, Yuta sat alone in the quiet house and let his imagination run wild. The more he thought about the 7 demons, the more suspicious the situation seemed. A ridiculous theory formed in his mind. His train of thought was interrupted by a sleepy voice nearby. To his surprise, one of the demon girls had remained behind as well. Barely awake, she complained about the noise he was making. Noticing Yuta's troubled expression, the girl approached him and pointed it out. She easily recognized the exhaustion on his face, after everything that had happened. Rather than mocking him, she seemed genuinely aware of how overwhelming the situation had become. Without warning, the distance between them disappeared. Before Yuta could react, the sleepy demon moved close enough to leave him completely flustered. The sudden contact shattered his composure and replaced his worries with confusion. Seeing him as a comfortable source of warmth, the demon treated Yuta like a living pillow. Although embarrassed by the unexpected situation, he could not ignore how relaxed and innocent her behavior appeared. Once again, his fears about a secret demonic scheme felt harder to believe. Trapped beneath her weight, he struggled to free himself, but her strength made resistance pointless. Meanwhile, she remained completely relaxed and insisted that rest would help him recover from the stress he had been carrying since the previous day. Unfortunately for Yuta, the situation only became more difficult. Pressed against her while trying to breathe, a new realization crossed his mind as he wondered whether the seemingly harmless demon was far more dangerous than she appeared. An unexpected movement changed everything. Startled by the sudden contact, the sleepy demon immediately opened her eyes. The comfortable atmosphere vanished in an instant, replaced by confusion, as both of them struggled to understand what had just happened. Taking advantage of the distraction, Yuta finally escaped from her grasp and quickly sat up. While catching his breath, he noticed a decorative string hanging from her clothing. Curious and flustered at the same time, he found himself staring at it without thinking. The demon soon realized what had happened and reached toward him with a reddened face. Embarrassment replaced her usual sleepy expression as she tried to recover the item. Faced with her reaction, Yuta immediately apologized. After the misunderstanding was cleared up, the sleepy demon sat down beside Yuta with a reddened face. Embarrassment still lingered between them, yet the tension gradually faded. She gently pointed out that he seemed far more cheerful than he had been earlier. A warm smile appeared on her face as she watched him. Looking back on everything that had happened, Yuta began to realize that her actions were never meant to cause trouble. Beneath her lazy attitude, she had simply been trying to comfort him during a stressful and confusing day. The conversation soon shifted to a more serious topic. Hoping to ease his concerns, the demon assured him that neither she nor the others had come to exploit humans. Her explanation directly addressed the suspicions Yuta had quietly been carrying since their arrival. Even with that reassurance, Yuta remained puzzled. Living under the same roof as 7 demon girls, who all claimed affection for him, felt too unbelievable to accept without question. Rather than becoming offended, the demon calmly answered. According to her, forming a love pact with multiple partners was actually uncommon even among demons. That response only deepened Yuta's curiosity. Unable to let the matter go, Yuta finally asked the question that had been bothering him from the beginning. Sitting across from the sleepy demon, he wondered why he had been chosen. Out of countless humans, he could not understand what made him worthy of the attention of 7 powerful demon girls. She reminded Yuta of the moment he stepped forward to protect his younger sister when danger appeared. Long before any contract was formed, that action had already left an impression on them. From her perspective, someone willing to put family before himself could not be a bad person. Demons revealed that they had secretly observed those events from the beginning. Their knowledge surprised Yuta and left him embarrassed. Although he protested about being watched, the explanation helped him understand that his actions had been carefully evaluated before any decision was made. Speaking more seriously, the demon explained the reason behind their caution. Possessing immense power meant they had to choose trustworthy people. The group needed proof that their abilities would never fall into the hands of someone with harmful intentions. Finally reached its conclusion. Gathered together, the 7 demons prepared to reveal the full reason behind their choice, bringing Yuta one step closer to understanding the extraordinary bond that now connected them all. The demons finally revealed the reason behind their actions. More than anything else, they had come to the human world to experience love for themselves. Hearing that answer left Yuta speechless. Before he could think further about it, his phone suddenly rang. At the same time, the sleepy demon had already drifted back to sleep beside him. The call came from Yoru, whose urgent tone immediately signaled that something had gone wrong. Moments later, he arrived at the restaurant and found his sister waiting anxiously. Confused by the situation, Yuta demanded an explanation. Yoru quickly revealed that the group had ordered far more food than expected, and now faced a serious problem. The truth soon became obvious. The demon girls had enjoyed the restaurant so much that they continued eating, without paying attention to the cost. Empty plates covered the table, and the bill had reached an alarming amount. Even Yoru apologized for being unable to stop them, faced with a payment far beyond what he expected. He could not help feeling that he had become the group's unwilling source of financial support. After all, faced with the enormous restaurant bill, Yuta lowered his head and sincerely apologized, determined to take responsibility. He promised that he would repay everything owed, even if it meant using future earnings. Rather than blaming anyone else, Yuta accepted the burden himself. Since he had formed the contracts with the demon girls, he believed the consequences should fall on him as well. His willingness to shoulder the responsibility surprised those around him and revealed how seriously he viewed the situation. Even while exhausted, Yuta remained firm in his decision. No matter how the problem had started, he insisted on being accountable for the outcome. Although the debt felt overwhelming, he refused to abandon the people who had become connected to him, just when it seemed impossible to solve the problem. One of the demons finally returned, appearing completely calm. Gree asked about the bill and casually produced a large amount of money. Confusion quickly replaced relief. Yuta immediately demanded to know where such a large sum had come from. Gree then explained that she had used the money he previously lent her and increased it through successful gambling and betting. With the restaurant crisis finally resolved, Gree revealed that she had earned far more money than necessary. Proud of the result, she explained that the funds could easily cover the future living expenses of all 7 demons. Back at the house, 2 of the demon girls approached Yuta with serious expressions. One of them politely bowed her head and offered an apology for the trouble the group had caused. Another demon quickly pointed out the danger of their reckless spending. If Yuta lost his home because of the debt, the entire group would lose their place to stay as well. Her practical reasoning showed that she understood the consequences far better than some of the others. Soon afterward, Lars stepped forward to apologize personally. Wanting to make amends, she presented a small gift and expressed regret for causing trouble. The gesture was simple, yet it carried genuine concern for Yuta's situation. The gift turned out to be food she had purchased especially for him. Remembering how hard he had worked preparing meals before, Lars wanted to return the favor, as the other demons joined in with their own apologies. After the restaurant incident, Yuta reflected on everything that had happened. Remembering the words of the sleepy demon and the support shown by the others, he began to feel less suspicious. Their actions suggested that they had not come to the human world with harmful intentions. As he looked at the group gathered around him, a new thought crossed his mind. Although their arrival had caused endless trouble, the demons seemed sincere about wanting to experience ordinary relationships. Just as the atmosphere settled down, an unexpected visitor appeared. Yuta was shocked to find Kanzaki standing at the entrance. The surprise became even greater when he learned that the place she wanted to visit was actually his home. Before Yuta could explain the situation, one of the demon girls immediately noticed the newcomer. Curious and alert, she questioned the girl's identity, realizing how complicated things were about to become. After arriving at the gathering, Yuta introduced Kanzaki to the people around him. The situation quickly became awkward when Lars suddenly presented herself as his girlfriend. Confusion spread across Kanzaki's face as she tried to understand the unexpected claim. Before Yuta could explain, another girl stepped forward and wrapped her arms around him. Soon, a second claim appeared, followed by yet another. Shock replaced Kanzaki's calm expression as she realized several girls were openly treating Yuta as their boyfriend. Seeing her reaction, Yuta attempted to explain that there was a complicated reason behind everything. Unfortunately, the explanation only made matters worse as the group gathered around him. With the atmosphere becoming too chaotic, the girls decided to leave and return later. One by one, they headed out together while Yuta followed after them. Left behind, Kanzaki quietly watched the group disappear from sight. Silence settled over the house after everyone left. Standing alone, Kanzaki replayed the strange events in her mind, rather than focusing on the number of girls around Yuta. She found herself wondering about the deeper reason hidden behind the unusual situation. After the group left, Yuta remained at home while thinking about Kanzaki's reaction to the chaotic reveal. Her expression lingered in his mind, leaving him uncertain about what she truly thought of the situation. Meanwhile, he struggled to figure out how to continue the conversation he had promised to have with her. Before reaching any conclusion, the doorbell suddenly rang. Curious about the unexpected visitor, Yuta headed toward the entrance. Standing outside was Kanzaki herself. Rather than returning to discuss the earlier topic, she had come to deliver the takeout he had accidentally left behind. For a brief moment, Yuta froze. He had not expected Kanzaki to arrive so soon after everything that happened. Nervousness crept into his expression as he tried to handle the unexpected visit while the others remained inside the house. Noticing the awkward atmosphere, one of the girls suggested welcoming Kanzaki properly instead of leaving her at the doorway. The invitation immediately eased the tension. With a gentle smile, Kanzaki accepted and stepped inside. Soon afterward, she joined the group, ready to spend more time with them. While Kanzaki sat with Yuta and one of the girls, several others watched from another room. Curiosity spread among them, and some wanted to join the conversation. However, they were reminded that Kanzaki had come as Yuta's guest. Frustration quickly followed. One girl complained about losing her usual place beside Yuta, comparing herself to an item that had suddenly been replaced. The comment only highlighted how attached the girls had become to him. Back at the table, Kanzaki calmly admitted that she had been shocked after learning about Yuta's 7 girlfriends. Wanting to understand the situation better, she asked where he had met them. Before answering, Yuta carefully reminded everyone that the truth about the girls had to remain hidden. A brief silence filled the room. Kanzaki appeared trustworthy, yet revealing such an important secret still carried risks, as Yuta searched for an explanation. The others watched closely, wondering how he intended to describe the unusual circumstances. Rather than leaving the matter vague, the girls explained why secrecy was necessary. Their powers could become dangerous if discovered by the wrong people. Just as the discussion was settling down, a loud commotion erupted from another room. Startled by the noise, Yuta rushed over with the others to see what had happened. The unexpected shouting immediately drew everyone's attention. Inside the room, Lars had already thrown herself onto another girl and begun accusing her of taking advantage of Yuta while everyone else was away. The argument escalated quickly as neither side showed any intention of backing down. Rather than feeling embarrassed, the girl calmly responded and admitted that Yuta had been comfortable to hold. Her teasing attitude only irritated Lars further, turning a simple misunderstanding into an even bigger dispute. Observing the scene, another member of the group explained that conflicts like this were nothing new. In the past, similar arguments often happened when the girls competed for attention. However, the focus had gradually shifted from seeking affection from their mother to gaining Yuta's attention instead. Before the quarrel could continue any longer, Yuta stepped forward and tried to stop both sides. His effort achieved little as the girls remained stubborn. Seeing this, the others decided to leave them alone for a while. As the argument continued, strange objects around the room suddenly began floating into the air. Kanzaki stared in disbelief, while the unusual scene unfolded before her eyes. Even Yuta looked concerned as the tension between the girls continued to rise. Unable to contain her frustration, Lars declared that everyone deserved equal affection from Yuta. Her emotions caused more household items to lift from their places, creating an increasingly chaotic atmosphere. Before anyone could calm her down, Lars swung her arm in anger. Several floating objects shot across the room at once. Yuta immediately moved to avoid the incoming mess as kitchen utensils and other items flew past him. The commotion finally caught the attention of the other girls. Hearing the noise, they rushed into the room to investigate. Upon seeing the situation, they instantly understood that the disagreement had escalated far beyond a simple argument. Soon afterward, the conflict took a different turn. Instead of continuing their fight with words, the two girls ended up clinging to each other while competing for Yuta's attention. Although the room remained messy from the earlier outburst, the danger had passed. Caught in the middle of the struggle, Yuta found himself completely overwhelmed. With both girls pressing close to him while competing for attention, he could do little more than endure the embarrassing situation. Moments later, the rivalry intensified. Each girl tried to prove her place beside Yuta, ignoring how flustered he had become. Their bold behavior only made the scene more chaotic, forcing Yuta to repeatedly apologize while searching for a way to escape. Amid the commotion, the consequences of Lars's earlier outburst became clear. Water that had been sent flying during the disturbance ended up splashing over Kanzaki. Now soaked from head to toe, she sat quietly while another girl brought her a towel. Seeing Kanzaki's condition, Yuta rushed to apologize. However, the others pointed out that she had already witnessed floating objects and other impossible events. At that point, keeping the truth hidden seemed increasingly difficult. Realizing there was no longer a reason to avoid the subject, the girls finally explained everything. They admitted that Yuta had formed love contracts with 7 different demons. After revealing the secret, the 2 troublemakers lowered their heads. After hearing the full explanation, Kanzaki finally understood the truth behind Yuta's situation. Although the story sounded unbelievable at first, she accepted it surprisingly well. Relief spread through the room once it became clear that Kanzaki was not upset. Her calm reaction immediately improved the atmosphere. Even after everything that had happened, she showed no sign of holding a grudge against anyone. Since her clothes were still damp from the earlier accident, the girls encouraged Kanzaki to change into something more comfortable. Left alone for a moment, she quietly prepared herself while thinking about the unusual people she had met that day. Not long afterward, one of the girls approached her with a curious question about Yuta's life at school. The conversation shifted away from demons and toward ordinary topics. Hearing his name again caused Kanzaki to pause and consider her answer carefully. With a bright smile, the girl spoke about how fortunate Yuta was to have a friend like Kanzaki. She described how enjoyable his school life must be and praised their friendship. Those words lingered in Kanzaki's mind. Girls continued chatting around her. One of them excitedly talked about wanting a romance like the ones in school dramas. Listening from nearby, Kanzaki quietly watched their lively interaction. Eventually, it was time for her to leave. Standing at the entrance, Kanzaki thanked everyone for lending her clothes and helping her after the accident. Yuta assured her that there was no need to apologize since the trouble had started on their side. Before she could go far, Yuta stopped her to mention what had happened that day. Concern lingered in his voice as he worried about the secrets she had learned. However, Kanzaki calmly reassured him that she would not tell anyone. Turning back for a moment, Kanzaki added that she had enjoyed meeting the demon girls. Rather than being frightened, she seemed to appreciate the time she had spent with them. Her words surprised everyone standing behind Yuta. After Kanzaki finally left, Lars revealed that she had been praising Yuta moments earlier. Curious and embarrassed, Yuta immediately demanded to know what had been said. Instead of answering, Lars only gave a playful smile and declared the details confidential. She reflected on everything she had learned that day. Watching Yuta interact with the demon girls, she realized his situation was different from what she had first assumed. As she walked home, a new question formed in her mind about how his relationships might develop in the future. Back at the house, Yuta gathered the girls and reminded them to be more careful with their powers. The warning soon led to another discussion about the earlier chaos, causing everyone to revisit the embarrassing incidents that had taken place. Before long, several girls began comparing their experiences with Yuta. Complaints and teasing quickly filled the room, drawing everyone's attention toward him. Surrounded by 7 very demanding companions, demons summoned by Yoru chose love over destruction and began forming pacts with Yuta instead. Yuta noticed they enjoyed snacks and shows more than romance but still wanted harmony together. Belze overspent again. Yuta reminded her that even magic doesn't cover random shopping sprees forever. Their food costs exploded. Yuta suggested working, quoting human wisdom that only workers get to eat. Yuta asked seriously what job might suit Belze, hoping her chaos could be useful somewhere. Belze appeared in fantasy work uniforms. Yuta panicked, unsure if she truly understood job hunting. Blushing, Yuta suggested normal jobs. Belze stared, dashed off without saying a single clear word. Belze fled upstairs. Yuta followed, confused. The others decided she was now his responsibility alone. Inside her room, Belze trembled under the blanket. Yuta entered, puzzled by her silent resistance. Yuta asked why she refused working. Belze just watched him while poking at her pudding. Even after breakfast, Belze's stomach growled. She claimed working would only make her hungrier again. Yuta explained food tastes better when earned. Belza stayed quiet but clearly heard every single word. Suddenly upset, Belza raised her voice. She insisted Yuta failed to understand what demons really were. She revealed her trait was gluttony. Unlike others, she couldn't suppress it through her magic alone. Belza lacked strong powers. Hunger overwhelmed her body. Yuta finally began to understand her condition properly. Yuta reminded her money still mattered. Belza sulked. Lars snored loudly from the next room. Suddenly, Belz leaned in close. Yuta's brain stalled as her intense stare froze him completely. Belz decided to make him understand her hunger directly. Yuta panicked as she advanced silently. His stomach rumbled unexpectedly. Confused, Yuta realized the emptiness spreading was not normal at all. Overwhelmed by unnatural hunger, Yuta cried out. Belza watched calmly as he experienced complete stomach emptiness. Yuta's hunger overwhelmed him completely. Belza calmly explained how intense it felt for her daily. Suddenly, Yuta lunged instinctively. Belza flinched but didn't resist as he reached out in desperation. Without thinking, Yuta latched onto her. Belza panicked, shouting, confused by his sudden uncontrolled movement. As she blushed, Yuta struggled mentally. His body acted alone while he questioned his sanity. Lars burst in, screaming. Everyone froze. The room's awkward silence broke with intense secondhand embarrassment. Lars pulled Yuta close, accusing Belz. Yuta panicked, trying to explain the awkward misunderstanding quickly. Ignoring his protests, Lars offered her own thighs. Yuta sank down, trapped between her legs. Another offer came in. Yuta burst with laughter, overwhelmed by unexpected thigh-related attention from everyone. Yuta insisted he wasn't obsessed with thighs. Grabbing Belz's hand, he dragged her outside for air. Holding hands, they walked silently. Yuta apologized, realizing how chaotic things had become inside the house. Belz squeezed Yuta's hand tightly. Surprised, he listened as she finally began speaking seriously. She admitted knowing it was wrong to rely on others for food and comfort. Belz confessed her fear. Working with humans felt unfamiliar and heavy, unlike anything from the demon world. Yuta imagined himself in her place. He finally understood how different this world felt to her. Ashamed, Yuta apologized for pushing her. In truth, Belz's feelings were just like any girl's. Yuta promised to help Belze find a calm, peaceful job where she could work happily. They walked together around town. Belze blushed but didn't want to let go of Yuta's hand. Job openings were scarce. Suddenly, Yuta spotted Kanzaki-san's shop, where his feet seemed to lead. At the shop, Kanzaki-san greeted them warmly. She was recruiting because someone had recently quit. Yuta explained they were looking for work for Belz. Kanzaki smiled, welcoming the potential new employee. Yuta and Lars share a cheerful moment as she invites Belza to join them. Yuta reassures Belza about the new opportunity, while Lars encourages her to join the offer. Yuta happily confirms Belza's decision to work at Kanzaki's store, resolving their concerns. Belz thanks Yuta for his support, promising to visit him at work with everyone. Yuta is flustered by a misunderstanding and Lars, Yoru, and others tease him playfully. Lars and Kanzaki excitedly discuss sharing a night with Yuta, both insisting on his attention. Yuta, tired of the nightly bickering, plans to take a bath while they argue. Surprised by the appearance of someone unexpected, Yuta finds himself in a confusing situation. Yuta and the woman discuss entering the tub, with Yuta trying to remain calm. The woman's request for a kiss leaves Yuta stunned, unsure of how to respond. Yuta, flustered, tries to process the unexpected kiss request. Unsure of how to respond, the woman, embarrassed, quickly apologizes for her forwardness, leaving Yuta even more confused. Yuta reflects on the strange moment, wondering if he misinterpreted the woman's intentions earlier. As Yuta imagines the possibility of her real feelings, his heart races with uncertainty. Yuta decides to wait until morning to ask her directly, hoping for clarity. Yuta awoke paralyzed. His body felt heavy. Something strange was definitely happening around him again. He realized several girls were clinging to him in their sleep. Escape seemed physically impossible. Yuta panicked as someone's hand wandered too far. He couldn't move or stop it. His protests were ignored. One girl kissed him awake, shattering their prior agreement on boundaries. Elsewhere, the others noticed Yuta was missing. They casually assumed another situation had already started. Lust excused herself from breakfast, bowing gracefully. Her destination remained unclear to the others watching. Kanzaki was surprised as Lust suddenly arrived outside, announcing her visit without much explanation at all. Lust asked directly why Kanzaki came alone. The shop wasn't even open at that time. Lust confessed confusion about human intimacy. She expected lovers to act immediately after becoming romantically involved. Kanzaki froze in shock. The sudden mention of kisses and intimacy left her completely speechless. Lust admitted her understanding came from dramas where kissing and intimacy always followed romance immediately. Kanzaki corrected her. Dramas don't reflect reality. Real relationships progress differently with more emotional pacing. She explained cultural differences in affection. Overseas greetings involve kissing, but Japan treats it seriously. In Japan, kissing is more personal. Lust listened closely, realizing there's no single way to love. Lust thanked her deeply. Kanzaki was surprised she didn't just ask Yoru instead of her. Lust explained she saw Kanzaki as someone wiser about love than the others around. Without another word, Lust flew off. Kanzaki stood frozen, confused by the strange farewell. Kanzaki blushed. Her thoughts spiraled, wondering if Lust truly had feelings for Yuta after all. At school, Yuta's friends noticed his absence and teased him about getting a secret girlfriend. Yuta nervously laughed. He couldn't possibly explain making love pacts with 7 demons at once. Yuta exploded in shock as Satu kissed his girlfriend, proudly displaying affection in public. Confused, Yuta recalled their recent talk. Satu wasn't normally someone so openly affectionate at school. Kanzaki arrived, panting. She informed Yuta that something strange had taken over the whole town. Public displays of affection became rampant. Even shy couples boldly embraced, leaving Yuta deeply unsettled. Yuta shared that Lust-san had asked her earlier about when lovers start kissing romantically. Yuta realized Lust's nature as a demon might be responsible for the town's odd behavior. On television, public affection surged everywhere. Even the media reported this sudden outbreak of flirtation. As they discussed the situation, questions arose about whether Lust's powers were the true cause. Yuta stepped aside to speak, but was ambushed by Bells and Lust from behind. The 2 demons clung tightly to him. Yuta froze, surrounded as the real chaos began. Slow found himself surrounded by girls acting strange. They clung to him without any restraint. He escaped, learning the magic surge was affecting students with weaker resistance to emotional influences. The group confirmed Lust's powers were leaking, influencing human desire rapidly without her conscious control. When asked about the cause, suspicion turned to Lust's mental state and her behavior. It was concluded her growing urges and isolation were causing this uncontrollable influence on others. To restore her stability, Yuta had to address the overload of magical emotional energy. The demon explained their crest also tracked affection, shrinking when love or attention was insufficient. Yuta demanded answers while the crest continued fading, causing the demon girl growing concern. She revealed uncontrolled magic would surge, overwhelming them all if emotional bonds weren't properly maintained. Yuta protested the contract's hidden clause as more girls appeared, each tied to the same fate. Yuta froze as the girl in kimono hinted Lust needed affection directly from him. He confronted the group, confused, while they sat calmly, unfazed by the rising tension. The girls believed in Yuta's ability to restore Lust, trusting his heart could reach her. She guided him gently, saying a simple act of closeness could reflect Lust's true feelings. Blushing, Yuta hesitated as she teased further, sparking a protest from another girl nearby. Encouraged by her trust, Yuta accepted the responsibility and climbed upstairs to help Lust. Outside the door, Yuta hesitated. His heart raced, unsure if he could really do it. Inside, Lust's body trembled. Yuta saw her disheveled form and felt urgency grip his chest. He panicked as her crest had vanished. She stood, weakened, waiting for his next move. Without warning, Lust collapsed in apology. Yuta froze, shocked by her sudden and sincere bow. Lust apologized tearfully, ashamed for troubling everyone with her unstable power and emotional misunderstanding. She confessed her mistake came from watching human dramas, believing kisses meant love between couples. Yuta gently explained that kisses are special, even rare, among committed human couples sometimes. Embarrassed, she bowed again. Yuta urged her to stop, worried she blamed herself too much. Lust admitted she overheard the others, thinking Yuta had already kissed someone else before her. Yuta reflected on Lust's quiet distance, realizing she often stood behind, hiding her feelings. Her eyes welled with tears. Yuta finally understood what she had been holding inside. She reached for him. Without hesitation, he embraced her, silently answering what words couldn't express. In his arms, Lust whispered his name. Yuta held her, unsure how to begin. She questioned his intent. He denied pity, struggling to explain the emotions rising within him. Yuta admitted he hugged her because he wanted to. Still uncertain, he spoke honestly. He placed his hands on her shoulders, voicing the pain he felt seeing hers. Determined, Yuta promised to improve himself so Lust would never need to cry again. With softened eyes, Lust thanked him gently. Yuta's name passed her lips with sincerity. Yuta noticed her crest had returned. She confirmed it, her power finally settling once more. Lust appeared before Yuta with a wink, catching him off guard with her sudden boldness. Blushing and confused, Yuta wondered if this encounter had fulfilled Lust's purpose without a kiss. She apologized calmly, but Yuta shared the blame, wanting to avoid future awkward misunderstandings together. Before he could relax, Lust leaned close again, promising to try her best with him. Elsewhere, the others noticed Lust's shift in behavior, just as Kanzaki received a sudden call. Yuta smiled with relief, informing Lust his parents were fine. Kanzaki suddenly called to check in. Kanzaki ended the call, confused by recent events, deciding to wait and ask at school. Still puzzled, Kanzaki questioned their behavior. A part of her wondered what really happened between them. Yuta casually asked Yoru why she returned late. She explained demonic powers caused the city's shift. Yoru described a ritual gone wrong. Yuta sighed, thankful the chaos finally started calming down. Two girls argued loudly over sleeping arrangements. Yuta sighed, already used to the daily commotion. Lust entered confidently, declaring she would be the one to share Yuta's bed that night. The others reminded Lust of yesterday. Yuta stood frozen, unsure how to respond to this chaos. Yuta blushed at the thought. One girl teased him, asking if Lust tried anything intimate already. Yuta denied everything. Then Levi stepped forward with a bold offer, leaving everyone stunned and silent. Levi's teasing continued. Yuta panicked, stumbling for words, unsure what she truly meant this time. Levi whispered close, suggesting something intimate. Yuta's mind raced as he turned bright red in shock. Clinging to him, Levi pressed further. Yuta hesitated, confused by her boldness and rapid escalation. Yuta pulled away flustered, shouting. He insisted nothing serious happened with Lust, calling everyone for dinner instead. Alone in bed, Yuta sighed. Despite his thoughts, he still had questions of his own. Hearing a sound, Yuta sat up nervously, wondering if Levi had actually come after all. Levi appeared, smiling gently, asking if he wanted to deepen their connection as true lovers. Startled, Yuta hesitated. The room creaked. He tried convincing himself nothing strange was really happening. Later, Lust stood over Yuta as he slept, quietly questioning their contract's unexpected side effects. Elsewhere, another girl slept peacefully. The chaos had settled, but new trouble was likely approaching soon. Yuta relaxed beside the others. Lust noticed his hesitation and asked if something was bothering him. Yuta assumed Levi had only teased him. Suddenly, Lars burst in, loudly demanding fairness again. Lars tackled them, frustrated by being left out. She reminded everyone about the contract's shared terms. Yuta agreed. The contract required fairness. No one should act secretly without the others knowing. Just then, Levi interrupted. She told Yuta his sister was calling, shifting the mood instantly. While heading downstairs, Yuta recalled Levi mentioning something about the power being out last night. He followed her lead into the room, wondering where Yoru had gone. All of a sudden, before he could react, Levi shoved him forward, catching him completely off guard mid-sentence. Yuta stumbled into the closet. The door shut behind him before he could say anything. Levi climbed on top, smiling excitedly. She declared it was finally just the two of them. Yuta panicked at the sealed door. Levi admitted using magic, leaving him trapped and confused. She calmly repeated her intentions. Yuta realized she wasn't joking earlier and grew even more anxious. Levi leaned closer. She confessed feeling surprised upon hearing about Yuta and Lust's earlier encounter. Her words continued, hinting she no longer needed to hold back after what she learned. She teased him further, saying living among charming girls must test his patience every single day. Yuta panicked as Levi advanced confidently, ignoring his protests and brushing aside hesitation without pause. He questioned the contract's fairness. Levi replied with a smile, stating everything was technically permitted. She reminded him that demons follow different rules. Yuta struggled to process what was happening. Yuta joked about rule following. Levi laughed it off, showing no intention of slowing down at all. Still uncertain, Yuta questioned fairness. Levi pressed closer, insisting it was too late to resist now. Levi leaned in with a bold smile, suggesting she might claim Yuta all for herself. Startled, Yuta jumped away in protest. Levi moved quickly, refusing to let him escape so easily. Before Yuta could react, she caught him and surprised him with a sudden affectionate kiss. The girls nearby sensed something wrong. Lars slammed the table, calling out Levi's name in disbelief. Lust burst in angrily, demanding answers. Yuta looked up. Relieved someone finally interrupted Levy's bold advances. Lars rushed in, relieved. She asked Yuta if anything had happened. He denied everything quickly. The girls hesitated to come closer. Yuta questioned their distance, confused by their sudden restraint. One of them remarked dryly that Levy had clearly crossed the line this time again. Rubia admitted she only joked before. Lust continued holding Levy back while watching her carefully. The group agreed to relocate. Lars, frustrated, realized she couldn't even get near Levy anymore. She flew off, holding him firmly. He panicked, unsure why she acted so suddenly. In the sky, she questioned him. Her tone was serious, gaze sharp and unwavering. He asked for answers, confused. She hesitated, then admitted there was more than he realized. She explained the spell's effect. A kiss could bind someone through exclusive magical influence temporarily. Rubia held Yuta close and cast a spell that bound him to her presence. Yuta learned he couldn't go home, and the spell's word monopolize unsettled him deeply. Kanzaki noticed his panic and calmly offered a place to talk and figure things out. Yuta apologized while Kanzaki led him inside, leaving Rubia observing everything without saying a word. Blushing, Yuta noticed Kanzaki's room smelled nice, while Rubia silently watched them both from behind. Rubia asked firmly about the kiss location, while Yuta awkwardly guessed near his lower back. Kanzaki hesitated outside the door, curiosity building as she wondered what was being kept secret. Her heart pounded, imagining the worst, picturing Rubia and Yuta getting way too close inside. Rubia confidently found the mark and Yuta flinched, caught off guard by her sudden touch. Rubia directed him toward the mirror while holding him close, inspecting the strange mark together carefully. Kanzaki peeked inside and misunderstood everything, shocked by what she saw reflected in the mirror. Yuta stared at the strange symbol on his lower back, confused by its sudden appearance. Rubia explained the seal was proof of contract, protecting him from other demons' interference temporarily. Only demons with stronger magic, like Rubia and Lust, could bypass the seal's limited effect. She clarified magic hierarchy and why Yuta's incomplete contract still let strong demons approach his body. Yuta questioned the contract's fairness, asking if feelings and magic power were truly shared equally. Rubia explained the spell was from older times, used to force physical closeness through magic. Yuta recalled Levy's stubborn actions and realized jealousy might explain her daytime use of the spell. Rubia confirmed the contract lacked limits, and that demons like them weren't bound by rules. She warned him to prepare, as every demon would now try to monopolize him completely. Yuta blushed and nervously asked if Rubia also wanted him for herself deep down. Rubia froze, surprised by the question, her face turning red as she struggled to respond. Embarrassed and overwhelmed, Rubia began trembling while Yuta panicked, unsure what reaction he had triggered. Kanzaki interrupted from the doorway, calling Yuta out before things escalated further between him and Rubia. Rubia snapped back with pride, denying everything while pouting, leaving Yuta and Kanzaki completely bewildered. Rubia finally confessed that she truly did want to keep Yuta entirely for herself. Embarrassed, she demanded Yuta address her properly, while Kanzaki watched the odd exchange in disbelief. As Rubia pulled him closer, Yuta lost balance and ended up falling into her lap. In the stumble, his hand landed awkwardly, leaving Rubia and Kanzaki both frozen in shock. Yuta panicked and apologized instantly as Kanzaki shouted, halting everything before things got any worse. Kanzaki covered her face, embarrassed and upset that her room had witnessed such chaos. Outside, she reflected on the incident, realizing it involved magic, contracts, and emotional tension. Yuta apologized with a smile, and Kanzaki reassured him she wasn't bothered by it. As they walked, Kanzaki admitted she'd rather be involved than left guessing from a distance. But then she wondered quietly, what if Yuta chose a human girl over demons? Yuta sighed, worried Kanzaki would hate him, while another girl popped up to apologize playfully. The mood shifted as more girls appeared, causing tension. Not everyone trusted the cheerful apologies. Sitting apart from Rubia, Yuta questioned everything. Was everyone really trying to monopolize his attention? Rubia avoided his gaze, pouting in silence while Yuta assumed she now hated him too. Rubia ignored everyone, lost in her drama. Meanwhile, Yuta wondered what bizarre event would come next. Rubia got defensive over her romance drama taste, refusing to watch Lust's wild suggestions instead. Later that night they noticed Gree was missing and heard she had urgent business elsewhere. The next day, curiosity rose as everyone wondered what Gree had actually been doing overnight. Yuta arrived at the cafe stunned by the dazzling group waiting, unsure what was happening. Gree greeted him confidently with a smirk, while the girls laughed. Yuta demanded an explanation. With a smug grin, Gree offered to teach Yuta the secrets behind gaining attention. Yuta entered the cafe as two cheerful hosts welcomed him to a unique, dazzling experience. He recognized Gree from an article online and followed clues that led him here. A stunning host appeared and gracefully guided Yuta forward while addressing him as "Dear Sir." Yuta panicked, explaining he came by coincidence and had no idea she worked here. Though Gree remained composed and playful, Yuta still couldn't grasp her true motives or feelings. Yuta looked around the cafe, realizing it was a themed space full of reversed roles. He spotted his sister Yoru laughing, stunned she also worked there without telling him anything. Gree explained this place was where desire and greed mixed, perfect for work with meaning. Yuta sighed, realizing Gree's charm was intentional, a tool shaped by her true demonic nature. Just then, a girl pleaded for Gree's return, clearly heartbroken over being left behind. Gree comforted her with sincere words, asking if she could wait just a little longer. Her heart melted. She accepted with a smile. Yuta and others watched the scene in awe. Yuta asked if popularity meant saying sweet lines. Gree corrected him immediately, warning about deeper emotional consequences. He reflected on lust's past incident. Too much attachment could disrupt everything and repeat old mistakes. Sitting quietly with Gree, Yuta faced uncertainty. Many thoughts clashed inside him without clear direction forward. Yuta sat close, frustrated by her teasing. Gree calmly explained how desire works between people. He realized everything Gree told the girl was carefully crafted from what she deeply wanted to hear. Still unsure, Yuta questioned how to respond if he never understood what others truly needed. Before Gree could answer, a new girl rushed in, calling her name with emotional urgency. They followed the voice. Yuta hesitated, confused why she was here and how she found Gree. The girl confessed loudly, leaving others stunned. One classmate decided to ignore the whole situation entirely. Yuta was pulled away quickly. Before he could ask, Gree locked the door behind them. Trapped inside a tight janitor's room, Yuta panicked while Gree acted innocent and unusually close. His face turned red. He accused her of planning this. She smiled and teased back gently. She admitted the girl always came whenever she worked, implying she might be more than regular. Gree explained how affection was not enough. The girl only wanted Gree entirely for herself. Because of that obsession, even the cafe staff had to step in and enforce some distance. She reminded Yuta that giving too much love or too little could both lead to chaos. But if he could meet those feelings honestly, he could still guide the outcome calmly. Gree encouraged him, recalling how he helped lust. Yuta began realizing his instincts might be enough again. Gree challenged Yuta to give her what she desired. He hesitated, overwhelmed by her push. Confused and flushed, Yuta questioned if doing the same as before would be enough now. He suddenly embraced her. Gree widened her eyes in surprise, caught off guard by his bold move. Blushing, she admitted she never expected him to actually respond like that without any warning at all. Yuta panicked and apologized quickly. Gree calmly noted his hug wasn't what she originally had in mind. Gree leaned closer and smiled. Yuta gulped as she called his response the correct answer. Yuta stepped out, confused by her words. Gree affirmed his instincts, reminding him why he's special. Back home, Yuta reflected on the day. Managing the desires of 7 was overwhelming work. He thought of each girl's efforts. Their feelings confused him, yet every gesture had meaning. Yuta made a quiet promise to grow. He wanted to understand and bring others happiness. Lying in bed, Yuta wondered if the feeling in his chest was actually love. The next day, Yuta noticed Yoru seemed distant. He decided to check on her tomorrow. At school, a girl confronted Yoru directly, demanding to know why she had acted strange. Yukiko, the club president, revealed herself calmly. She claimed she and Gree were destined to be. Without hesitation, she declared Gree was a demon, shocking everyone and confirming what Yoru had sensed. Yoru panicked. The one person she feared would learn the truth had now exposed everything. Yukiko praised Gree's demonic charm, twisting meanings while Yoru struggled to understand her true intentions. She confronted Yoru calmly, asking why she never mentioned she was living with Gree all along. Yukiko admitted she had followed Gree to Yoru's house and now had a personal request. With a bright smile, she asked to go to the beach together with Gree that summer. Everyone arrived at the beach. Excitement filled the air as some admired the waves in silence. More girls joined in cheerful outfits. Gree smiled softly while the others enjoyed snacks and sunlight together. Yuta realized it was all for Gree. He couldn't bring himself to turn her down. Yukiko explained it was her family's beach. Yoru grew more nervous, realizing everyone was staying at home. Yuta panicked. Hiding their secrets in Gree's relationship was harder with everyone under one roof. Kanzaki quietly approached, unsure if her presence would be welcome among the tightly knit beach group. A misunderstanding sparked tension as Yoru blurted out that Kanzaki was his brother's girlfriend. Conflicted by their contract, he struggled to balance truth and kindness while explaining the situation. Kanzaki admitted it was her first pretend relationship, but her feelings began to grow real. Another girl interrupted, pulling him away cheerfully, leaving Kanzaki watching with a quiet, uncertain smile. Yuta nervously explained everything to Lars, unsure if she'd accept Kanzaki's sudden presence. Lars smiled, teasing Yuta with kind words, reminding him contracts don't guarantee true feelings. Kanzaki blushed and claimed to be Yuta's girlfriend, even if only for today. As Kanzaki held him close, Yuta's heart raced with a new, unfamiliar warmth. Lars yanked his shirt playfully, breaking the tension, insisting they enjoy the beach together. Gree accepted the invitation calmly, while hidden thoughts stirred about human desires and their unpredictability. Yuta struggled to stay composed as Gree confidently showed off her bold beach outfit. Lars rushed in to compete, proudly flaunting her own swimsuit, pulling Yuta's attention toward her. A sudden snap caught everyone off guard, followed by gasps and confused glances across the group. Both girls reacted in shock as their swimsuits slipped, caught in an unexpected, awkward accident. Lars's swimsuit came undone, and she insisted Yuta help, causing him great distress and confusion. Levi ignored the warning, giggling mischievously, clearly enjoying the chaos she secretly caused earlier. Yuta confronted Levi, who played innocent. Gree's sudden gesture masked growing mischief in the air. While others played nearby, Kanzaki quietly comforted Lars, bearing the burden of keeping peace together. Later, Kanzaki joined Yuta alone. Her smile was gentle, his heart beat faster than before. Yuta sat beside Kanzaki under the shade, awkwardly trying to respond without stammering again. Kanzaki quietly shared her worries about his demon contract, unsure what would come next. She smiled softly, noticing everyone was still having fun despite the beach's strange surprises. Being his girlfriend for today, Kanzaki decided, meant making the most of every moment. Yuta turned as Lars was called back. Something about Kanzaki's words still lingered in him. With everyone gone, Kanzaki faced Yuta alone, ready to speak about something more serious. She described discovering a mysterious grimoire at Yoru's home and the symbol it revealed inside. That same emblem appeared on Gree's chest, a clear clue connecting her to the book. The pieces aligned. Kanzaki's voice trembled as she asked if the girls were really demons. Gree admitted it calmly. She already knew but kept quiet until Kanzaki confirmed it herself. Gree asked her intent. Kanzaki lowered her gaze and voiced one honest request with care. She stepped forward, sincere and calm, asking Gree to become her partner beyond simple words. Her fingers touched the mark, quietly declaring her wish to be claimed as Gree's beloved. Yuta listened quietly as she recalled seeing his symbol in a demonic grimoire once. Other girls had the same symbol, but she followed Yuta into Yoru's house curiously. She invited Yuta to the beach, suspecting a contract linked him to Yoru. As expected, the mark was found on his lower back, confirming her growing suspicion. Smiling calmly, she asked if he was truly a demon bound by contract with Yuta. As the ocean breeze passed, Yuta sat beside her, unsure why she seemed tense. Holding sunscreen, she asked shyly if Yuta would help apply it on her back. Blushing, Yuta questioned her intent, shocked she learned it from a romance manga recently read. Suddenly, another girl insisted he should feel honored, handing him the bottle without hesitation. Cornered by both girls, Yuta panicked, knowing he couldn't refuse after she directly asked. Kanzaki hesitated quietly, wondering if Yuta would reject her if she asked directly. Yuta noticed Kanzaki's troubled expression and finally decided to stop overthinking and act confidently. As Yuta applied sunscreen, the girls reacted nervously to his gentle and focused touch. Both girls tensed with each motion, unsure how to handle the awkward closeness between them. Embarrassed, Yuta admitted his inexperience, uncertain how much sunscreen was actually enough to apply. Lust spoke softly, explaining her concern about sunburn, and asked for coverage under her swimsuit. The other girl insisted boldly, loosening her strings, urging Yuta to hurry with the sunscreen. She reminded Yuta to protect her skin carefully, while he panicked at the revealing sight. Yuta tried applying it cautiously, hands trembling as he avoided direct contact with sensitive areas. Tension peaked as she reacted, flustered by his touch, while Kanzaki returned, stunned by everything. Curious, she asked about demon-human love contracts and why they often led to tragedy. The tale revealed a jealous demon whose contract ended when the human loved another. A powerful demon rewrote the contract system, though it required immense energy to implement. As thoughts settled, Yuta reflected quietly, wondering if Kanzaki and Gree were doing all right. He found Belza enjoying ice cream, surprised by her calm mood and casual explanation. Belza calmly offered her snack, encouraging Yuta to try it, claiming it tasted really good. Yuta panicked, realizing it might count as an indirect kiss if he accepted it. Despite his hesitation, she resumed eating casually, leaving Yuta flustered and unable to speak clearly. Before he could react, Gree arrived, catching him mid-sentence, amused by the awkward situation unfolding. Gree leaned in with a smirk, reminding Yuta that she already knew they were demons. Yuta blurted out that someone confessed to him, shocking Gree with the sudden news. Gree explained their flexible preferences, openly expressing interest in both genders, surprising Yuta even more. Confidently, Gree asked Yuta to decide how they should respond to the girl's feelings. Yuta was flustered, unsure why Gree entrusted him with something so personal and complicated. Alone, Yuta processed everything, confused why Gree expected him to answer on their behalf. Yuta panicked over his situation, overwhelmed by secrets, threats, and Gree's carefree attitude. That night, the girls relaxed in the hot spring, reflecting on their beach adventure together. Kanzaki felt nervous being surrounded, her thoughts drifting to Yuta and his constant attention. Surprised by a comment, one girl dashed out excitedly after hearing Yuta might be nearby. The group agreed Yuta never initiates anything himself, accepting they'd need to act first. Just as Yuta relaxed alone, the girls decided to join him without hesitation. All 7 entered together, surprising Yuta, who had no time to react properly. Surrounded, Yuta was overwhelmed by their closeness. Feeling like he had experienced this chaos before, he sank deeper by accident, pressed between bodies, unable to escape the situation unfolding around him. Struggling to breathe, Yuta panicked, trying to surface while someone finally noticed his distress. Yuta noticed something odd. Kanzaki was the only one without a contract symbol on her. She approached silently, leaving both Yuta and herself frozen by the unexpected and vulnerable moment. Outside, shocked voices rose in panic as others realized Kanzaki had entered the bath area. Yuta sat alone, feeling guilty and hopeless, certain Kanzaki now hated him for everything. He planned to apologize, but she avoided him completely, disappearing before he could explain anything. Late at night, Wrath appeared at Yuta's door, asking to show him something personal. Wrath approached Yuta quietly, heart steady, her fingers slowly undoing her shirt with a smile. She revealed the black lingerie Yuta had bought, proudly wearing it tonight. Yuta turned away, flustered, struggling to speak as she reminded him how much it meant. She closed her eyes, smiling softly, explaining she kept it safe because it was precious. He stood still, caught off guard, while she stepped closer, her gaze never leaving his. Yuta tried stepping back, overwhelmed, as Wrath clung closer, still dressed in revealing nightwear. They stumbled together, losing balance mid-motion, and landed clumsily on the bed in awkward confusion. Wrath leaned in, amused by his reaction, her soft laughter echoing close to his ear. With flushed cheeks, she smiled down at him, realizing she had never taken the lead before. Pinned beneath her, Yuta mumbled nervously, asking her to move, recalling their very first encounter. Wrath gently cupped Yuta's face, praising his courage from the past with heartfelt admiration. She recalled his words during that moment, her voice trembling with sincerity and growing emotion. With clear eyes and steady breath, Wrath smiled and quietly confessed her feelings to Yuta. Yuta froze, heart racing, while Wrath leaned close, whispering softly before pulling back with a smile. She waved with confidence, leaving Yuta stunned alone in silence, still processing her bold message. After parting ways, Wrath encountered Kanzaki, who greeted her with awkward surprise and uncertain curiosity. Kanzaki paused outside Yuta's door, her heart pounding, wondering what had just happened inside earlier. Yuta sat in silence, thinking of the past, ashamed by how weak he had become. He reflected on every moment with her, guilt growing from all the lies he carried. The next morning, Yuta faced Kanzaki directly, ready to speak honestly for the first time. Yuta finally spoke up, declaring his role as her partner and the truth he hid. Greed smiled in silence, recalling their bond, while the other girls chatted cheerfully nearby together. With sincerity, Yuta confessed everything, including their contract, wanting to be honest from now on. Kanzaki listened carefully as Yuta asked her to keep their true identities hidden from others. She admitted suspicion, having noticed their closeness, then encouraged him to be fully honest now. Kanzaki cried out, convinced she couldn't stay beside him without having magical powers herself. She grabbed Yuta's hands, assuming he must be gifted with magic to attract powerful girls. Yuta froze, overwhelmed by her logic, unable to explain how he ended up with demons. Convinced by emotion, she declared she'd earn power if it meant staying close to him. With determination, she promised a contract of her own, surprising Gree with her boldness. Kanzaki vowed to keep the demon secret, still determined to win Gree's heart someday. Yuta sighed in frustration, realizing Kanzaki misunderstood everything, while Gree stayed relaxed and entertained. Gree praised Yuta softly, leaning in close, catching him completely off guard with her words. Elsewhere, Wrath quietly repeated Kanzaki's words to herself, unsure how to feel about the situation. The group reunited outside, laughing about the beach, while Yuta hesitated to confront Kanzaki again. Yuta panicked, stammering an apology, finally addressing the awkward moment they both tried to forget. Kanzaki calmly responded, explaining she received apologies and understood his discomfort despite the embarrassing situation. Smiling gently, she reassured him, admitting the beach trip was surprisingly enjoyable after everything. Yuta sighed in relief, grateful she didn't resent him, while Kanzaki hesitated to speak further. As Yuta ran ahead, Kanzaki softly admitted to herself how fun pretending had truly been. Yuta parted from Kanzaki with awkward thanks, unaware what his sister had planned next. She excitedly watched a tutorial about gaining magic, determined to close the gap between them. Later that day, she stood before the others, requesting a serious group conversation with everyone. Lars stood before everyone, unusually serious, saying she had something important to share with them. With confidence, Lars declared they should express their love for Yuta more openly and directly. She referenced past love contracts, saying times had changed but feelings still mattered in bonds. Raising her voice, she called for unity, urging everyone to show more affection without hesitation. Another girl recalled a cautionary tale where a demon's contract ended because of human affection. The group questioned Levi's story, but she insisted it came from her mother's reliable words. Lars reminded them how being demons creates barriers, though Yuta's kindness had clearly reached them all. Greed teased that someone among them might already like Yuta, sparking surprise and rising curiosity. Lars encouraged unity in showing affection, while some were excited and others clearly unsure or hesitant. One girl quietly turned away, her silence hiding emotions she herself did not fully understand yet. Kanzaki found Belze focused on makeup practice, her expression unusually serious and slightly embarrassed. Belze admitted borrowing a magazine and explained her efforts, clumsily trying something unfamiliar to her. She confessed her insecurities, feeling lacking in appearance, magic, and presence compared to the others. Kanzaki understood her frustration, quietly repeating Belze's question about becoming more charming with sincere concern. Without hesitation, Kanzaki reassured her with kindness, reminding Belze she was already charming as herself. Kanzaki leaned forward, her voice steady, gently telling Belze she liked her true self. Belze looked surprised. Kanzaki asked if someone had influenced her sudden change in attitude. Belze revealed Wrath's words, explaining they must express more love toward Yuta from now. Kanzaki questioned what it meant to show love. Was it romantic or simply supportive? Smiling, Belze thanked Kanzaki. Her confidence returned, heart lifted by Kanzaki's kind encouragement and honesty. Levi smirked as she unwrapped a parcel containing aphrodisiac chocolate from the demon world. She schemed to keep Yuta home alone, planning to secretly test the chocolate's effects. Lust intervened just in time, scolding Levi while confiscating the suspiciously labeled treat. Determined, Lust flew off with Levi, vowing to never leave Yuta unattended again. Meanwhile, Belze arrived home early, spotted the chocolate, and curiously approached it alone, unaware of danger. Belze noticed the unattended jar on the table and remembered its rare demon world flavor. Yuta came home puzzled by the silence. Neither Yoru nor Belze were around in his room. He found Belze sitting quietly on the bed, avoiding eye contact. Yuta panicked as Belze wouldn't answer. Her blush deepened, making him even more nervous. Worried, Yuta stepped closer. Belze remained quiet, her posture tense, heartbeat clearly faster than normal. Belze began to remove her clothes slowly, visibly affected, her face warm and unsteady. The others watched in confusion and concern, questioning if affection was again lacking in her heart. They noticed the mark still remained, so why was she acting differently this time? With trembling words and eyes, Belze reached forward, expressing something deeper than attraction or impulse. Yuta, overwhelmed by her change, tried to stay calm as she came dangerously close. Belze, hovering over Yuta, softly calls his name, causing a flustered reaction from him. Yuta feels an unexpected warmth as Belze presses closer, her voice barely a whisper in his ear. Tension builds as Belza's words, though subtle, suggest a more intimate moment approaching. Yuta's hesitation grows as Belza teases him, her question hanging heavy in the air. The air thickens with uncertainty as Yuta's silence speaks volumes, Belze waiting for his response. Belze, her voice trembling, expresses her desire, causing Yuta to freeze, unsure how to react. Yuta, confused and shocked, questions Belz, realizing something feels off about her sudden change. Desperate for clarity, Yuta urgently asks Belz to explain, his concern now overshadowing his confusion. Yuta, after hearing about the chocolate, feels a sense of disbelief, not sure what's real. Belza, now visibly conflicted, explains how the chocolate affected her, hinting at uncontrollable emotions. Belza asks Yuta about his preferences, causing him to panic at her sudden questioning. Belza, feeling insecure, confronts Yuta about his refusal. As he tries to reassure her, Yuta, still flustered, demands an explanation, his worry for Belz growing amidst the tension. Yuta learns about the chocolate's magical effect, further complicating the situation as he processes it. Belze, now confused by the effects, begins to question her own emotions and behavior. Yuta is surprised by Belze's mention of Kanzaki, noticing the effects of the chocolate fading. Yuta, feeling frustrated, expresses his concern, urging Belze to have shared the truth earlier. Belze, her emotions still intense, admits she wanted to experience something special with Yuta. As Yuta processes her words, the tension deepens, realizing Belze's feelings may have been genuine. Back home, a new wave of confusion hits Yuta, as Belze's behavior seems to have shifted. Belze and Yuta are caught off guard when they realize someone may have overheard them. Yuta, caught between confusion and embarrassment, faces the consequences as the secret is exposed. Yuta awkwardly mentions his summer plans, suggesting a trip to the festival with his sister. Yuta, feeling a bit uneasy, tries to cover up, explaining his usual festival plans. Lars excitedly talks about her plans for a yukata, raising Yuta's anticipation for the event. Belze, filled with excitement, shares her enthusiasm for the upcoming festival, mentioning all the treats. Lars casually talks about the busy time for others while Yuta's attention is elsewhere, distracted. Yuta, confused by the situation, feels discomfort as Lars seems disappointed by something unspoken. Lars urges Yuta to hurry and join them at the festival, but he remains distracted. Lars starts to suspect that something happened between Yuta and the others, leaving him uneasy. Yuta becomes more self-conscious, wondering if Lars is losing interest while feeling a strange unease. Yuta, still lost in thought, is startled by Nodoka's cheerful voice, calling him to join. The girls, dressed in yukatas, eagerly wait for Yuta's opinion, each hoping for a compliment. Yuta tries to hide his nervousness, noticing his friend's effort, and admires their yukatas. Lars seems to catch Yuta's reaction, leading to a small moment of tension about expectations. Yuta, feeling the absence of one of the group, wonders where Slow might be. Yuta knocks on Slow's door, unsure of what to expect, hearing no response inside. Yuta, somewhat awkwardly, talks to the pillow, trying to convince it to join the festival. Shocked and flustered, Yuta realizes Slow was awake and heard everything, reacting with surprise. Slow, eager and cheerful, steps forward in her yukata, ready for the festival, catching Yuta off guard. As they walk through the festival, Yuta feels overwhelmed by the closeness, his heart racing. Yuta, deep in thought, questions the nature of his past outings, wondering if they were dates. Yuta arrived at the shrine and checked his phone to update Yoru and friends. Before he could send a message, she leaned in and pulled his attention completely. Yuta flinched as she clung closer, confused and flustered by her sudden bold move. She gently touched his cheek, smiling sweetly, wanting to enjoy the festival alone with him. Flustered, but smiling, Yuta offered to buy her a candied apple from the stall. While Yuta bought the treat, delinquents approached her again and blocked her path. Yuta rushed over, shocked, but she smiled calmly and called him her boyfriend with confidence. The mood turned tense, so Yuta grabbed her hand, and they ran into the crowd. Hiding nearby, Yuta recalled past trouble and wondered about her mention of his ex-girlfriend. She gently pulled him close, warning him to stay hidden or they'd be spotted again. Slow gently pulled Yuta close, her bold gaze steady. His heart pounded faster than fireworks outside. Meanwhile, the group watched the show. Cheers echoed. They wondered where Yuta had disappeared to. Yuta apologized quietly. Slow smiled, assuring him the view was better here away from everyone else. As fireworks lit the sky, she whispered that being together made the night unforgettable and perfect. Slow suddenly held his hand. Yuta froze in shock, feeling her warmth and heartbeat through him. Yuta panicked as Slow suddenly clung to him tightly, calling him her body pillow. Slow leaned forward, exhausted, mumbling sleepily. Yuta was shocked but realized she was completely drained. Understanding her effort, Yuta carried her gently. She apologized for overdoing it just to attend. Slow admitted she wanted to try hard too, inspired by how much Bells-chan cared. Yuta realized Slow had heard everything. Her effort touched him deeply as he carried her home. Yuta apologized, admitting his doubts. He feared Slow lost interest by staying quiet about Bells. Slow smiled on his back. She promised to rest only once they returned home safely. Whispering warmly, she praised his honesty. Her words caught him off guard as she leaned close. Yuta panicked from her surprise nibble. Slow teased him, noting how sensitive his ears really were. Yuta covered his face in shock. Slow casually admitted she forgot to wear her underwear. Slow replied confidently about yukata customs. The group laughed and walked off, still enjoying the night. A familiar book reappeared. Yuta recognized it immediately. It was used to summon the demons. They assured her it was safe. She just wanted to summon someone she liked once. Yuta returned home. The others teased him warmly while Slow brought out food and souvenirs. Meanwhile, Bells felt something strange inside. Her body trembled slightly as an unknown force stirred. Rubia found her sisters clinging to their mother again and shouted at them to stop. Frustrated, Rubia scolded them for acting childish. Their mother calmly tried to ease the tension. Their mother invited Rubia closer, reminding her that growing up did not mean avoiding affection. Rubia gave in quietly. Her mother embraced her, knowing Rubia struggled to express her true feelings. Later that night, Rubia awoke silently. Morning light crept in as she sat and thought. Rubia woke from a strange dream, confused by its meaning and the feelings it brought. The others gathered happily downstairs. They shared memories from the festival and enjoyed the morning together. Yuta noticed Yoru and Gri leaving. They mentioned a tea invitation from the student council. Yuta felt uneasy. Gri's vague tone left him hoping their outing stayed simple and safe. Suddenly, Rubia appeared behind him. He jumped in surprise, not expecting her so close again. Rubia looked dazed. Yuta asked with concern, but she quietly said she did not know. Suddenly, Rubia collapsed forward. Yuta shouted her name and moved to catch her right away. As she fell into his arms, Yuta unintentionally grabbed her by the chest again. Embarrassed, he apologized quickly. She did not react, worrying him even more than before. Others noticed the commotion. They confirmed Rubia felt strange, unsure if demons could catch human colds. The elder confirmed Rubia's condition. Her magic power was clearly and rapidly dropping without warning. Yuta panicked, asking if it was dangerous. The elder calmly said it had happened before. She explained that Rubia's condition came from mother borrowing her magic to sustain her own strength. All siblings shared magic from their mother. When needed, she could retrieve it from them. Yuta questioned the fairness. The elder admitted it hurt Rubia, but it was sometimes necessary. Rubia wondered what her mother was doing with the magic power she had borrowed. One of the girls offered to contact the demon realm and check with mother directly. Yuta stayed behind with Rubia, who quietly questioned why their mother remained unaware. Rubia grew irritated, asking to be left alone. Her exhaustion clearly weighed on her. Yuta hesitated, remembering Rath's request. Despite her words, Rubia clearly needed someone nearby right now. Yuta gently offered support, telling Rubia it was okay to depend on him today. He remembered Yoru relying on him too. But Rubia gave no answer at all. After Yuta left, Rubia sat up silently, her expression serious and unreadable in the quiet. While preparing water, Yuta recalled Rath's words. Rubia's coldness might just be her usual way. He returned with care items. Despite her words, he still worried and chose to help. Yuta walked in accidentally while Rubia was changing. He panicked and quickly tried to retreat. Rubia stopped him calmly. She asked him to help since he offered support earlier. Despite feeling nervous, Yuta did as asked. Being close like this made him tense. Rubia winced slightly. Yuta tried staying focused, knowing she relied on him during this moment. She turned to face him, her expression quiet but direct, catching him completely off guard. Rubia pointed out her discomfort, asking if Yuta noticed how much she had been sweating. Though embarrassed, Yuta helped carefully. He tried not to react as he focused on assisting. Rubia asked him how it felt. Yuta stammered, unsure how to answer such a question. She pressed further, wondering if he preferred when she acted dependent like the others sometimes did. Yuta explained his earlier words. Rubia quietly compared herself to her siblings, unsure if she belonged. Rubia suddenly said she was fine, asking him to leave and get some rest. Even confused, he confessed honestly. He admired Rubia's strong side, not just her vulnerability. Her expression softened. Knowing she could rely on him brought her unexpected comfort and happiness. He smiled, saying he wanted her to depend on him more during tough times. As he turned to leave, Rubia stopped him, mentioning he missed a few spots. Rubia pointed to her head, silently asking him to tend to that spot gently. He nervously placed his hand on her head, unsure if patting was the right choice. She smiled softly under his hand. He panicked, unsure if she was upset or not. Rubia calmly stated she would rely on him, but only whenever she truly felt like it. Far away, a girl sensed something wrong. Her tarot revealed the devil card once again. Yuta arrived just as the two girls burst in with urgency written across their faces. Before anyone could speak, another girl summoned a demon, stunning everyone with her confident smile. Later that day, Rubia quietly announced her magic had returned, concern still clouding her thoughts. Yuta stood confused while Rubia hid her flustered heart, asking him to leave immediately. As Yuta walked out, Rubia whispered thanks, her feelings trapped behind a shy expression. Rubia froze as the woman cupped her face, reading her heart with quiet certainty. Yuta stepped forward, confused and defensive, demanding answers from the overly familiar stranger before him. The woman introduced herself as their mother, casually revealing her connection to the 7 demons. Surrounded by cheerful daughters, she laughed warmly. Yuta was stunned by her carefree, unexpected personality. Another girl explained her past. After raising demons, she embraced human life freely and boldly. Gree's voice rose in shock upon learning their mother had arrived through an unexpected summoning. She realized the spellbook had instructions not only for summoning demons, but also their mother. A perfect match between Yukiko's intent and their mother's desire pulled her into the world. Yuta reflected aloud, thinking she simply wanted to reunite with her daughters after so long. In private, Levi approached Yuta and whispered something he had kept from the others entirely. Levi revealed a dangerous truth. Their mother created the deadly rule behind love contracts. She had loved a human man once, but he abandoned her for another woman. Because Levi was the demon of envy, Mother confided in her and no one else. Levi feared Mother's real purpose was to interfere in her growing bond with Yuta. Yuta was stunned. Levi insisted there could be no other reason for her arrival. Yuta feared losing everyone if the love contract was voided by the mother's opposition. Before panic could spread, Levi confidently assured Yuta she had already prepared countermeasures for everything. To Yuta's surprise, her plan involved inviting Mother to a night pool at a resort. Another girl even offered to reserve the entire hotel, grateful for a chance to help. Yuta showed up awkwardly in tropical gear. Levi insisted it would leave a good impression. The girls debated the outfit, hoping Yuta's cool appearance would impress their unpredictable mother, while the girls chatted in the pool. Bells blushed, clearly moved by Yuta's unexpected look. Yuta noticed the mother relaxing nearby and quietly muttered about needing something to drink too. Levi urged Yuta to approach with juice and confidence, calling it his chance to shine. Levi whispered that their cheerful mother was once the strongest demon in the entire world. Yuta learned their mother once held immense power but sacrificed it to create her daughters. He approached nervously, fearing he might upset the former strongest demon of the underworld. Paralyzed by anxiety, Yuta struggled to walk. Levi shouted, but his legs refused to cooperate. Yuta stumbled forward uncontrollably, juice in hand, and headed straight toward the relaxing demon mother. The glass landed awkwardly. Mother reacted with confusion. Levi's well-planned charm operation was now ruined. Yuta landed awkwardly on her. She commented on the spill, unaware of the full embarrassment. Covered in the mess, she stayed calm. Yuta panicked, apologizing while others began approaching quickly. Levi rushed toward them, flustered. She realized things had spiraled out of control too fast. While others laughed and enjoyed the stars, tension and awkwardness lingered between Yuta and Levi. In a confusing moment, Yuta was trapped between the two. Neither noticed his rising panic. Levi landed on her mother. Embarrassed and flustered, she apologized while chaos unfolded awkwardly around. Yuta questioned Levi's intentions. The repeated misunderstandings made him wonder if it was intentional mischief. Overwhelmed by guilt, Yuta quickly ran off, shouting apologies and promising to return with a towel. Confronting Levi, Yuta asked why she caused trouble after claiming her idea would help. Tearfully, Levi confessed she truly wanted Yuta to impress their mother and earn approval. Yuta worried that Levi's mistake might cause her mother to dislike him unfairly now. Levi hugged him tightly, admitting her true feelings and fear of being separated from Yuta. Moved by her sincerity, Yuta reflected on how much Levi truly cared about him. Mother appeared and calmly accepted Levi's apology, surprising everyone with her warm and understanding response. With tension lowered, they agreed to relax together in the jacuzzi and continue their talk. Mother casually suggested a bold bonding activity, leaving Yuta overwhelmed and unsure how to respond. Yuta, feeling uneasy, wonders if following her into the bath was truly the right choice. The small bath makes Yuta nervous, while she calmly urges him to join her. Yuta, flustered and confused, reacts as she unexpectedly undresses, questioning her actions and intentions. She playfully reminds him of the love contract, subtly hinting at deeper, unexplored motives. Despite his inner turmoil, Yuta resolves to stay firm, his determination growing as tension rises. Yuta feels uneasy, sensing a trap, as he nervously questions her movements and intentions. Her playful smile reveals she knows Yuta's discomfort, teasing him about the forced love contract. Yuta's resistance crumbles as her approach intensifies, his embarrassment growing at her calm, direct actions. She reassures him, claiming no ill intentions, but his nervousness lingers as their conversation grows deeper. She reveals her full power comes when she's naked, increasing the tension in their uneasy situation. Yuta is confused as two characters, seemingly switching places, discuss how power is borrowed. Yuta is startled by the explanation about the magical power, raising concerns about potential consequences. A sudden shift occurs, and Yuta is taken by surprise as he experiences a strange vision. She explains that the vision is of her daughters from before they entered the human world. As Yuta floats above a crowd, he realizes they aren't people at all, deepening the mystery. The girls, dressed in swimsuits, gather around, teasing Wrath as they compliment her appearance. Yuta observes in disbelief, wondering if this really is the past, seeing familiar faces change. Fans of the girls excitedly demand love contracts, while Yuta looks on, questioning their motives. Wrath dismisses the weaker characters, making it clear she only wants someone stronger than herself. As the group seemingly gets blown up, Yuta marvels at their immortality, stunned by Wrath's power. Yuta notices how the girls' popularity in the demon world contrasts with their human appearances. Yuta wonders about the demon world's strength, considering how different the demons appear now. One girl expresses a desire for protection, insisting on a love contract with someone special. Yuta overhears the girls' conversation, considering the complexity of love contracts that include everyone involved. The girls laugh at the idea of finding someone who could satisfy their collective needs. The girls are confident, discussing how they will surely find someone willing to sign a contract. Each girl expresses her ideal partner, revealing unique desires ranging from fun to care and attention. One girl whimsically talks about her desire for protection and affection, adding to the chaos. Yuta is surprised by the suggestion that all the girls should be part of the same contract. The girls laugh, questioning if such a partner exists, while Yuta feels increasingly uncertain. Yuta, shocked and overwhelmed, reacts to the intense feelings and unexpected developments unfolding around him. The woman eagerly asks Yuta about his experience with the past, showing her curiosity. Yuta, still processing everything, admits his surprise at the demon world's power and its implications. Yuta, expressing his unease, worries about the power dynamics and potential risks in the demon world. After reflecting, Yuta decides he wants to stay with everyone, hoping to form deeper connections. Yuta, feeling stressed, understands the mother's concern about her daughters dating a human like him. As the girls have fun at the pool, one promises not to cause sadness. The conversation lightens, with the woman playfully complimenting Yuta, who is still caught off guard. She reveals her past grudges, hinting at complex feelings, yet stressing that they live freely. With a teasing smile, she points out Yuta's past, making him question his own decisions. The woman happily shares that she wanted to brag about her daughter's strength and popularity. Yuta, processing everything, questions if it's usual for parents to talk about their past so openly. She expresses relief and joy, glad that Yuta signed the love contract with all her daughters. Yuta realizes that she has fully accepted him, and now feels even more certain about his choice. As tensions rise, one of the daughters questions the use of power on Yuta, teasing him. Yuta explains a misunderstanding, but a playful daughter teases him about his apparent preferences. One daughter, concerned, asks Yuta if he's truly fine, questioning the mother's intentions. The mother smiles with satisfaction, suggesting it's time to enjoy the rest of the party. The girls and Yuta enjoy their time at the pool, embracing the carefree atmosphere. A playful comment follows, teasing Yuta about his joyful expression and the big float. Yuta, surprised, finds himself in an unexpected situation as his companion unexpectedly closes the gap between them. With suspicion, Yuta wonders about the motives behind the sudden intimate moment, questioning the intentions of his companion. As the tension rises, the focus shifts to the playful yet challenging environment, full of confusion. Yuta considers the possible consequences of this interaction, uncertain if it's more than a playful exchange. The moment shifts again, as new revelations unfold about their relationship, leaving Yuta with more questions than answers. Yuta, caught in an embarrassing photo, blushes as Kanzaki recalls the pool party and mysterious woman. Kanzaki wonders if Yuta's new girlfriend was the mysterious woman. While Yuta looks confused, Kanzaki feels lonely after missing the summer festival with Yuta, questioning her growing feelings for him. Yuta helps Gree pick out clothes, as she asks him which outfit suits her better. Yuta, surprised by Gree's enthusiasm, rushes with her to the cross-dressing cafe event, wondering what's next. Gree teases Yuta, showing him underwear and joking about his preferences, leaving him flustered. Yuta, annoyed by Gree's teasing, recalls similar situations when he first met Wrath, feeling embarrassed. Gree playfully talks about a love contract, suggesting it symbolizes eternal love, leaving Yuta unsure. Yuta ponders whether a love contract is like marriage, but doubts, recalling meeting her mother. Gree surprises Yuta by suddenly appearing behind him, teasing him about still thinking about the underwear. Gree proudly shows off her new dress, eager to get Yuta's opinion, her excitement clear. Yuta turns red, caught off guard by Gree's boldness, her teasing leaving him flustered. Yuta, trying to regain composure, suggests resting at a nearby cafe, while Gree smiles teasingly. Over coffee, Gree casually mentions Wrath's challenge, hinting at the competition among those around Yuta. Yuta, puzzled, asks what Wrath meant, as Gree hints at everyone trying to appeal to him. Gree tells Yuta a story about a demon who rewrote a love contract out of jealousy. Yuta reflects on the tale, asking if that's why they are trying not to lose to humans. Gree confesses she's been doing her best to keep other girls away, implying her intentions. Yuta, confused, wonders if dark means a quiet place, but Gree teases him about karaoke. Gree suggests they do their best tonight, leaving Yuta shocked and questioning what will happen next. Yuta and Gree arrive at the ghost mansion, where Yuta wonders if Gree is teasing him. Gree admits to being scared of ghost houses, surprising Yuta as she acts innocent and playful. Yuta, overwhelmed by Gree's antics, expresses his inability to handle such situations after being dragged along. Determined not to show weakness, Yuta rushes ahead, telling Gree she won't see his uncool side. The spooky mansion unfolds with eerie empty rooms, setting the stage for what's to come. Yuta and Gree enter the eerie mansion, and Yuta shivers at the unexpectedly cold atmosphere. Gree playfully pretends to be terrified, leading Yuta to notice her exaggerated fear of ghosts. Despite her teasing, Yuta can't handle the frightening atmosphere, wondering why he keeps going along. Yuta, flustered, rushes to keep up with Gree, refusing to let her see his weakness. Gree, reveling in her power, uses her abilities to increase the fear in the mansion. Yuta and Gree venture further into the mansion as Gree plans to scare Yuta with her antics. Yuta, caught off guard by the strong wind from 3 fans, questions Gree's mischievous actions as the wind blows. Yuta is left red-faced when Gree's dress lifts unexpectedly, revealing more than intended. Gree teasingly asks if Yuta enjoyed the view, making him nervous and embarrassed at her playful nature. Yuta tries to protest, but Gree, still teasing, assures him that she can show more if desired. Yuta stumbles in the dark, worried about the cold sensation and lack of visibility in the mansion. Yuta, terrified, grabs Gree as she teases him, claiming her fingers got caught in ghostly hair. Gree, in a playful mood, begins to remove her dress, teasing Yuta about his boldness. Yuta, shocked and flustered, asks what to do with Gree's dress, but she spots the exit. Yuta tries to regain composure while Gree teases him further, intensifying the playful tension between them. Yuta, after leaving the ghost house, admits it wasn't scary, but Gree seems pleased by the outcome. Gree reveals she wanted to scream and grab a guy's arm, explaining her intentions in the haunted house. As Gree and Yuta hold hands, Gree thanks Yuta for doing his best. Despite her teasing, Yuta blushes, as Gree reminds him that he agreed to do his best from the start. Gree proudly confesses her goal was to make Yuta's heart race, and he realizes she never stopped teasing. Yuta, walking with Gree, notices her holding his hand and wonders what's going on. Gree playfully teases Yuta, saying she wants to be hated by him, leaving him confused. Yuta nervously laughs, thinking Gree is just joking, but something about her eyes feels different. At home, Yuta realizes Gree's mood was serious, and her joking seemed like a deeper intention. Lust, noticing Yuta's return, asks why he went out with Gree, feeling left behind and lonely.